Mother and children were playing games at home. Suddenly, they heard the sound of their father coming home. They immediately stood in a row and held out their hands. The man began to check the palms of their hands. It was obvious that he was keeping them in extreme confinement. After confirming, he gave the children a cookie. The woman did not get a cookie and cried in disappointment. The man warned her not to cry in front of the children. She must remember the rules. That late night, she finally broke free from her 13-year cage. When she saw a passing vehicle in the distance, she knew this was her only chance to survive. She ran toward the highway with all her might. However, the woman was hit by a car. During the doctor's diagnosis, the girl reminded the doctor that her mother's blood type was the rare AB negative type. She said this was what her mother had told her. Soon, the ambulance returned to the hospital. The doctors and nurses rushed to take the woman inside for emergency treatment, and no one had time to look after the child. The girl seemed to be visiting such a place for the first time. She memorized the signs on the walls, then began counting each step she took. Perhaps this was her way of passing the time. Soon, the nurse looking after her, Lucy, walked over. Her first instinct was to put out her hands for inspection. Upon inquiry, the girl's name was Hannah. Her mother's name was Lena. Since the driver who hit Lena fled the scene, Lucy began to ask Hannah, "Do you know what happened?" However, Hannah said the driver was not at fault. She described how the driver had been taking care of her mother, but fled just before the ambulance arrived. The reason she believed the driver was not at fault was because she thought her mother often made mistakes. Her mother was always clumsy, so it wasn't the driver's fault. She said her mother often made mistakes at home, and sometimes fainted and hit her head on the table leg. "I was worried she might fall into the toilet, so I often accompanied her to the bathroom." At first, Lucy thought the child's thoughts were strange, but then the girl's words overturned her assumptions.
Она хотела случайно убить папу.
Lucy realized she needed to notify the police immediately. Soon, a female detective arrived at the hospital. Lucy said the girl refused to reveal her home address, saying it was their family rule. The address was their secret. The female detective sent her subordinates back to the scene, while she stayed behind to conduct a detailed investigation. Since the psychologist hadn't arrived yet, the female detective could only start from other places. But strangely, the doctor told her that Lena's blood type wasn't a rare type. But Hannah said that was what her mother told her. So the doctor didn't know who was lying. Meanwhile, another police officer, after seeing this case, immediately called his friend's house, and his friend was Lena's father. Upon hearing the news, the couple's eyes widened. Could the child who had been missing for 13 years still be alive? The man hung up the phone without even finishing the call, and rushed to the hospital with his wife. When they arrived at the hospital, Lena was already out of danger. Seeing their daughter, the couple couldn't believe their eyes. They stood there in shock for a long time. The wife noticed the scar on Lena's hand, and seemed to have realized something. The husband, however, said, "She's not our child." He angrily accused the officer. "That's not Lena." After saying that, he stormed out. At that moment, he saw Hannah, who had come to visit her mother. It seems that Lena went missing when she was Hannah's age. The couple's impression of the child was still stuck in Lena's childhood appearance.